I'll be honest, I had to do a double take on this one. But you know what, Chuck Todd? Kudos, brother. I mean, there are a few things that I'd like to say otherwise, but kudos on at least the way you handle this particular senator, another enabler.
Any doubt who won the presidential election?
Shouldn't be after Monday. I mean, the states have counted, certified their votes. The courts have resolved the disputes. It looks very much like the electors will vote for Joe Biden. And when they do, I hope that he puts the country first, I mean the president, that he takes pride in his considerable accomplishments, that he congratulates the president-elect and he helps him get off to a good start, especially in the middle of this pandemic. We need to not lose one day in the transition in getting the vaccine out to everybody who needs it.
You know, it's been 37 days since the election, 33 days since it was called, 6 days since we know that enough pledged electors have been certified for the election. And yet on Wednesday, President of the United States tweeted #overturn. Is it about time for this to stop?
Well, Monday it should stop. I mean, remember, it's not unprecedented to contest an election. Al Gore took 37 days, I believe, to contest before he finally conceded. And then he made the best speech of his life respecting the result, which is what I hope the president will do.
I don't understand the context, though, of trying to compare this to Al Gore. That was an incredibly close election. The only reason there's a perception that this was closer than some others is the order with which we counted the vote. So is the comparison to 2000 really fair, or is it creating a false straw man?
Well, it's not, you're exactly right. It's not the same circumstance, but I think it's fair to allow candidates to contest elections if they want to, if they have evidence. But when it's over, it needs to be over.
All right. I don't remember these same comments 4 years ago on Hillary Clinton should get more time and all of this stuff. I mean, do you see why it looks like a double standard?
Well, what about Stacey Abrams' concession speech? Have you found it yet?
I understand. Look, I understand that. But I guess,
that was
Senator, what I would say
that was 2 years ago, Chuck. She was defeated. She was defeated by more votes. She was defeated by more votes than governor. And why don't you say something about that? You're going to keep talking about Trump.
Look, I'm not here to talk about Stacey Abrams. I'm not covering that race, and that's her decision. And I think that is something that she deserves to be asked. But the question I have is, this is how the Republican Party seems to define itself in the Trump era, which is anything the president does that is unseemly, breaks a norm, instead of criticizing. You just say, well, what about? It's whataboutism. What about this? That doesn't dismiss the president's behavior, does it?
But I would think if you're going to talk about Donald Trump all the time, you might mention Stacey Abrams once. I mean, after all, Georgia is where the Senate races are.
It is something I've mentioned a handful of times.
It has been.
I'm not here to debate
you mentioned
that.
Her. Well, why aren't you? Why aren't you? Well, I have consistently said that if the president loses, and it appears that he will, when the electors vote, he should put the country first, take pride in his accomplishments, congratulate Joe Biden, and help him off to a good start, especially because of the vaccine. I think that's a very proper way to think about that.
That was Chuck Todd. The one thing that I think he missed is when they tried to do the false equivalence between Stacey Abrams and Donald Trump. We should have said Donald Trump was talking about voter fraud. Stacey Abrams was talking about voter suppression that we visibly saw, that we could see on TV, that we could see wide open, that we could see everywhere. Voter fraud and voter suppression, two distinct things. Voter suppression is what lost her the election, and she wanted and needed to make that clear. Chuck Todd, you did a great job in pushing back. But next time also come and defend the reality, the truth about Stacey Abrams. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead. Number one, subscribe to our channel. And number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.